afternoon, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this. It's a recap of. Actually, it's really not a recap. I'm just going to show you the stuff that I got at PAX East 2017, which just happened this past weekend. It was at the Boston Convention Center. It's a huge event, it's a big gaming convention. It's actually probably one of the largest conventions in Boston. But it's not a homegrown show, but that's okay. Who cares? It's video games, right? So let's get to the nitty gritty and see what I got. And actually, I was going to do pins, but I'll do pins on a separate video because I think there's just a lot more involved with it, and I'd like to actually show you my full inventory. And I'll talk about it later, but we'll just move on. But I got tins. Let's just start with, let's go with what's on the table here. So the Behemoth booth, which is one of the standard booths at PAX East, as well as I think all the other PAX shows. One of their big games is Castle Crashers. So they had the capsule vending machines, kind of like those candy machines, but they're, Japanese based. I forget what they're called, chonku chonku or something like that. It was on the signs. But one of the big deals were these little minifigs from the Castle Crashers game. So these are the knights. And by the time I figured out what they were, it was Saturday afternoon, late afternoon. And I just kind of like, oh, those are pretty cool. I thought they sold them at the store, but no, you have to get them through the vending machines. And these are kind of like the blind packs. And you have to buy coins, put them in, turn the dial, and then out comes these capsules, and you don't know what's in them, and until you get it. And apparently there were like 13 figures to be collected because each of their 5 knights, different colors, and they had different poses, and I believe 13 was how many there were that you could get, like variety, if you got them all. And so late to the game, and all I got were 2. Now I know, hindsight, right? And these are pretty cool. They're nifty. They're tiny. That's how small they are. I mean, you think about it, they fit into the capsules. So they're really cool and neat. I did have an issue with this one, trying to get the arrow aligned and in there without breaking it. I was just really, really hesitant about getting it on there until I figured out you had to get the tip onto the bow first and then kind of slide this down into the hand. You can kind of see that. So it can be a little fidgety, and I was a little concerned. I didn't want to push too hard and then break it, and then I'm down to 1. Or a bowless, an arrowless bowman. But these are cool. I like these. And I'll show you, I'm a big fan of the Behemoth merchandise, and there's a reason why, because they're adorable. So there's that. And I might, hopefully, they continue on with the series with these little minifigs, and then I'll get some more. Staying on the Behemoth track, I got this thing. It's a 4-armed bear, and I just, it's from one of their games. I think this is their line of plushes that are the first time that they've done for their games. They have plushes, but particularly for a certain game. I can forget the name, eludes me, but this is pretty cool. I like the fact that it's just weird, and it's kind of quirky. So that's that. Back to the Castle Crasher Knights. I have 5 of these. I got 1 of each color. These are the Castle Crasher plushes. Pink, blue, orange. So the ones that are missing are the green and the red, and I actually gave those as gifts. But I'll replenish them because, apparently they're also available online. So if you like these, you can get these online at the Behemoth website. Cool. I'm starting to develop a Castle Crasher type collection, which can be a little bit dangerous. But they're excellent. I think they're cool little things to have. Great for gifts. And if you haven't played Castle Crashers, you should. It's a really nice co-op game. But that's for another video. I actually went to check out a game called Paperback. It was on a iPad. So it's in PAX they have a thing called the Aussie Roadshow or PAX Australia Indie Show, and so all the people there are from Australia, hence the name, because they do have a PAX Australia, and this company came Paperback. They wanted to develop a game that was very faithful to the country Australia. So they didn't want to do something. Yeah, I guess the comparison is they didn't want us to think of everything as Australia as the outback. So, but one of the games, and so I was speaking with one of the developers there, and he said like, well, what's something that the American market would know? And so they developed a game based on the wombat. And so it was on an iPad, so it was for iOS. But I forget if it's going to be available for Android or anything else. But it's still in development, so it's not out yet. And I think they're shooting target for a 2018 release. And so they had these like really cool postcards, and the guy was explaining it to me, and he said, "Oh, take what you want." And so I took one of each. I believe these are actual prints of the computer renditions on the game. So this is what you see here is actually in the game, and they just kind of printed them out into nice little postcards. So the premise is this wombat wakes up, and as you tap onto different parts of the screen, it reveals more of the landscape, and then the wombat goes in the direction that you reveal. And there are certain interactive parts of the game where you tap on it and the wombat will interact with it, whether it's like chewing on some leaves, rolling in the grass, so forth. But it's still in early development. But it's very interesting to keep in mind if you're looking for something that's a beautifully rendered game. Now, how that results in the end product, who knows? But there's a lot of potential, so keep an eye on it. So Paperback. Make sure I have the right card. Check that out. I showed this on another video, the unboxing. I'm not going to go through it again. You can watch the other one. So, I felt like this year there wasn't as much swag that they're just giving out. You have to kind of earn things, or you buy it. This is one of the earned things, and you'll see it. It's from the game Critica. You'll see. I'm not going to repeat it. But look at it, it's pretty cool. Look at that video, it's fun. If you like adorable Japanese characters, you like that. And honestly, this year wasn't a huge haul. I took pictures and threw them on Instagram. Furious_chopsticks if you want to go check that out. And I spread it out on a chair, and it looked like a lot more. But I was a little bit more selective. I didn't want to just come back with a lot of junk and then have to try to get rid of it. Lanyards, lots of lanyards. This one from Tiny Build, it actually lights up. I don't know if you can see it. It does. Well, it does light up. And it was like a Twitter challenge, take a picture with their mascot or one of the games, post it, show it to them, they give you a lanyard. So there's that. You can never have enough lanyards, because you never know. They were doing the Rain World in the Adult Swim game section. There. And so they had the little cat thingy from the game Rain World. And they just left them out, and because they're all tied together, and so when you try to get one, you get like 4. They didn't care. They had like 1 million of them. I passed by, which is kind of interesting. Now they have a diversity lounge, and it's for promoting diversity within the gaming community. So they handed me a lanyard, and I took it. It's actually nice, not bad. It's a little bit thin. You can't really do anything other than give that away. Again, actually, these are all the lanyards they have. It's just ridiculous. And I never. I always find I give them away because people always need lanyards. There was a dog tag for a game called Raid World War II. I didn't play it. I was a little bit sucked up on the games that I played, so I just kind of get to the things that I wanted to. When I got the behemoth stuff, they gave me a bag for each item. You've probably seen it if you've been to PAX East. Originally, this was 1 year. This was the actual swag bag that they handed to you as you walked in. Now it's just they don't really care if the behemoth. They were like giving away less candy. So I have a couple of those, and actually they were nice about it. The girl who was manning the booth, when I bought the plushes and all that stuff, she said, "Here, just take one for each, and then there'll be like little gift bags." And I didn't think too much about it, but it's actually a really good idea at the end when I gifted it to my little nephews. I got a couple of cards. The Garden Between. The Gardens Between. It's an actual puzzle game. And again, it's in development. I think they said that they're shooting for late 2018 release. It's actually really good. It's like a three-dimensional side scroller because you can only move the characters left or right. So this, otherwise, you can't. There's not a freedom of movement, but it works. It's a really great game, beautiful game. I was attracted to by the graphics, and I wasn't. There was like a line to play it. So at PAX East they have press consoles for just the press and media, so they don't have to wait in line. They just make appointments. They come in and they just play, or they stop by and they play. And then they have the 2 or 3 regular consoles so that the regular attendees can play. And so I was standing there watching, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, why don't you just jump on one of the press ones?" Because they didn't have any appointments. I was like, okay, and I played it. It was a great game. So you like these 2 characters, a story based to it, but they were playing the levels where didn't have the story because then you don't have time to really go through all of it. But it's a boy and a girl. They try to go between gardens, hence the name In Between Gardens, or the gardens between. I'm gonna get it right because I love this game. And so, but there's time manipulation, and it's a puzzle game. So you go forward, and then you see how the garden is and how to try to advance, and then you come back in time to try to manipulate different things so that it happens so you can progress. Really good game. Check it out. I think if you went to the website, it would explain a lot better than I am. So sorry. There's another game. It was by Lightfall. Actually, the name is Lightfall. Lightfallgame.com, and it says Dive into Darkness. There's the website there. Sorry. It's a hard to describe it. It's a very like noir graphics, so it's black and white, and this like maybe shades of like slate and green or something like that. But it works, and it's basically you're this character. You're trying to. It's almost like speed runner kind of, and so you just try to make your way, or like a Sonic type deal. But there are like little command functions that you can create, like constructs, like a box with a triangle construct that helps you move along the screen to get to the next level. It's worth it. I didn't actually play it, but my friend who is in media, had a media badge, he was able to play it, and I was talking to the developer, and he was explaining it all while watching. But it looked really cool, and so that's something to check out, and I believe this is coming out in the summertime, so it's actually pretty much ready to go. So check that out. It's lightfallgame.com. So there's that. I went to the PAX merchandise booth, as you always should, as I always do. After you buy a certain amount, they give you a patch. I don't know what to do with patches. I don't put them on jackets, so I just have a bin full of patches. I'd probably give them away. And at the PAX, one of the traditions that I have is getting a scarf. So strategy is always get there, look at it on Friday, and then but don't stand in line at the beginning of the day to go buy a scarf because they're not going to sell out on Friday. And so typically I would just get it like at the before closing Friday night before the exhibit hall closes, as opposed to having to fight for it on like Saturday and then maybe the chance of it selling out on Sunday. Well, they didn't have any scarves this year. At first I thought they sold out, but it's like there's no way possible because I had checked like an hour into the exhibit hall opening and I didn't see any, and I didn't see like a table that was empty, so led me to believe they didn't sell any. And so I looked on the price board. No. So I'm not quite sure why they didn't do it. It's kind of a tradition within PAX attendees, especially PAX Easters like us. PAX East. I call ourselves PAX Easters. Well, I gave us the nomenclature. Hopefully it sticks. I don't know. Whatever. But they didn't have it, so I didn't really have any. That was the only thing I really was interested in buying at PAX East merchandise. So they didn't have it, so moved on. So I'm sure we'll hear about why they didn't sell it. Maybe production didn't happen and didn't get in time and they didn't sell it. Regardless. But I did get, later on, like on Sunday, I decided to fall victim to the pin trading, or penny trading, penny arcade. That's the official name of pin collecting and trading at PAX. So I got a bunch, and some of them I'll show these later on, but just kind of explain a little bit of brief on there is that some pins you can only get by playing the games, and some pins you buy, and then some pins you have to search out for like staff members or coordinators and then trade with them. So very similar to Disney, kind of like that thing. So they gave me, I bought pins and I got a nice lanyard for that. So that's why I'm showing you because I actually purchased it at the merch booth. And then they ran out of other, I think there was like another patch, but they didn't have any, so they gave me another lanyard, and that's fine. So that's pins. I went to a game called Hob, and they were giving these patches out. I don't know why I took it. I think it was cool. That's the main character in the game Hob. I didn't get a chance to play it. By the time I figured it out that I really wanted to play it, the lines were capped, and it was too late. But they said it was available online, whether it was the full version or a beta, like an open. It's for testing, but whatever. It looked really good. It's like a puzzle game. The character reminded me of Hellboy because it had like one big fist and arm. So check that out. It's Hob. I wish I had a card. I didn't grab a card. They had coloring books on, so what am I going to do with coloring books? In hindsight, I should have just taken it and then give it to my nephews. Well, live and learn. More lanyards. Lanyards are ridiculously available everywhere. So never buy a lanyard because you're going to get one. Back to the Gardens Between. I actually got a t-shirt because I took a picture, selfie, posted on Twitter, and then I followed them. And that's pretty much how a lot of the companies at PAX were doing things. I'm pretty sure they do that at all the PAX shows. And that's more like a social media engagement, so that they build up the social media presence, word of mouth, so on and so forth. And it's pretty cool, you get a t-shirt if they select you. And then they selected me. I went to play Lawbreakers. I'm not into the first-person shooter type games, especially on PCs, because I feel like I really need a controller. That's how jaded I am, because the WASD throws me off. I'm not as coordinated with my fingers as I should be, because I just don't do it enough. And I figure if I play these games a little bit more, and again, I'm not a really big first-person shooter type deal, but the line was like less than 30 minutes, and I had gone through the exhibit hall already, and I didn't have any panels to go to, and I really don't go to panels, but maybe next year I will. So I played, I got a pin, and then I got a t-shirt, and that's it for t-shirts. Not a whole lot of t-shirts this year. I mean, normally in previous years you get a lot of t-shirts. Everyone's like throwing t-shirts at you left and right, and I think because also some of the major developers weren't there, like Blizzard. they were kind of consigned to just selling merchandise, which is ridiculously how long that line was just to buy merchandise, which I think most of the items you could have bought online. But whatever, it makes people happy, then I'm all for it. But you didn't have any. You didn't have Capcom. You didn't have Naughty Dog, BioWare. Even though they have Mass Effect coming out, they didn't have like a big presence on the exhibit hall floor. I believe after I looked at the map, they had a base station somewhere in like one of the breakout rooms. But they were demoing the game, the multiplayer version of the game, at the Microsoft booth. But I heard it was a little bit glitchy, like audio wasn't really good. So, and you know, the game will be out and then you can play it. So I wasn't really thrilled not having the big developer result, but also I'm not that disappointed in it. It's kind of like a dichotomy of interest there. Like the pros and cons of having a big booth means you have to wait like 2 hours. Not having them, now you get to spend more time at the much bigger independent games as well as tabletop. But it's kind of nice sometimes to, you know, I miss, believe it or not, miss waiting in line for some of these major releases. And there just didn't seem to be any of that going on as much this year. So I had to kind of find other things to keep yourself busy, which is not a problem at PAX because there's so much going on. And that pretty much is it. I got, well, my hat from last year. Lanyards. Sorry, I'm covering things up. I had everything on the chair and I put it all away and I just decided to do this video. More pins. Again, the Twitter selfie post follow. I don't know why I take the buttons, but I think they're cool. And then eventually I think I just have friends that want buttons and I just kind of hold on to them for them. And that's pretty much it. Oh, they had a Cartoon Network. I played very briefly the Steven Universe game, and they had me this kind of bandana, wristy thingy, plexi, I don't know. It's swag, right? And they give it to you, you just take it. And then you can give it away or just like put it back or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty much it for PAX 2017. The swag bag was the swag bags have been disappointing since 2015. 15, I think, was the last time they had a really good swag bag, and that they had like Cards for Humanity packed in oatmeal packets as a surprise, but no one really knew. And then when people figured it out, it became a mad rush to get the swag bags. They're just kind of in plastic bags now, just like PAX EAST. They're very cheapy. But again, you know, the whole point is it's not like San Diego. Whereas, you know, San Diego's a press junket, there's a lot of marketing promotional materials. A lot of these companies, they just don't have the money to invest in swag. So you get, so in the plastic like handle shopping bag, you get advertisement and discounts and a couple of like codes and so on and so forth from companies that you may not be very aware of, and they're just trying to get their presence known. I think within the last like 2 years, people kind of got used to the fact that the swag bag's really not a big deal anymore. And it's probably easier for the enforcers and the organizers, so they have to deal with people trying to go back around and grab more and more and more. Right now, they don't really care because there's really nothing of value in there. Well, not to my knowledge for me. I mean, maybe if you're into those codes and stuff like that. But, you know, you're not getting a code for League of Legends or Warcraft or anything like that. So nothing of that scale or caliber. Not a knock to the companies that do put them in there, you know, good for you. But that's pretty much it. Twitch was very big there. And so they had a lot of different competitions and challenges to get swag. I was able to get a pin, and that was pretty much it. I didn't want to go back around because it's just really, really long lines. And some of them were a little bit more difficult or very rare to get things. And so, but that was it. That's pretty much it for swag. I'll do pins on another video, I promise, and it'll be a little bit more interesting because pins are just cool. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, chopsticks out.